Yo, what's going on, you little oddballs? It's your boy Coreboy back at it again today with a new video, as per usual. I know I didn't upload yesterday. I had plans for an upload, but I decided not to do it because there was a lot of news yesterday about Halo, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do a really big video today going over all of it and talking about it a little bit more in depth and my opinions on it. And of course, I want to know how you all feel about it, so feel free to leave it down below. One of these things I do have to talk about, we're going to actually talk about this like very, very in depth because it applies to a lot of things I think in Halo that could actually be really cool. And I want people to understand that there is actually some cool implications here that they could be adding to Halo that I'll just get into it when we get there. So, of course, yesterday they had the little community live stream yesterday to talk about the Halo Infinite Spring update. So, if you don't know, every about 2 to 3 months, they do one of these community live streams where they go over the big update that is coming out for Halo Infinite. And this one kind of actually gave a little bit of insight to, I think, how 2025 for Halo Infinite is going to go. I think as many of us know that this might be the last year of Halo Infinite, and I guess we will see that as we go on through the year. And especially at Worlds, we'll see if this is the last year for HCS, for Halo Infinite, before the new game comes out, etc. So, the first thing we have to talk about, of course, is the operations that got announced. So, we have Operation Frontlines coming out on February 4th. Be expecting me to be on stream that most of that entire day. I might be working a little bit less that day and hopping onto stream and play the update because there's a lot to look forward to in it. After that, on March 11th, we got Operation Blue Team, which, of course, is going to be themed around Master Chief Squad. Super excited for that. That's going to be awesome. Especially because if y'all don't know, recently I've actually been reading back through all the Halo books, and I've been reading First Strike, which has a lot of Blue Team stuff in it. I have a whole video planned doing some talks about some of these books, specifically First Strike and The Fall of Reach. It's going to be a little bit of both because First Strike does kind of have some lore on Reach in it, so I do want to like kind of talk about it. And then Operation Forerunner, which comes out April 8th. This thing right here, we're going to be getting back to in a minute. I have a lot to say about this whole section in particular. So, yet again, we will come back to it here shortly. The next thing we have to talk about is the Operation Pass change. So, I'm just going to read this verbatim so you all kind of have an idea of it. Halo Infinite's Operation Pass is evolving. We've been listening and tracking community feedback about Halo Infinite's operation releases over the last year, as we are looking to improve the experience for players. Thus far, each operation has offered 20 tiers of rewards, typically including a themed set of armor, additional customization elements such as emblems, Spartan points to spend in the exchange, and a bonus item for those who purchase the pass. This year, we want to expand our offerings to players, so here's what you can expect to see when Operation Frontlines arrives on February 4th. Free Operation Pass. For those enjoying the free Operation Pass each month, that experience will remain largely untouched. Playing Halo Infinite during the active window of the operation lets you unlock 20 reward tiers as you complete matches and earn XP. However, if you were unable to finish all or part of it during the month, the free customization elements will be available to acquire with Spartan points earned simply by completing matches via the exchange as part of Infinite's next major update, the summer update in this specific case. So, let's talk about that a little bit. If you don't know, a lot of these operations that are within Halo Infinite are free. So we can actually go and take a look at those really quick. So I can go ahead and pop up Infinite over here. So since last year, with the first one being Spirit of Fire was when they really switched over. We did have these two during Season 5, but Spirit of Fire is really when it started. So all throughout last year, we had all of these little passes that were 20 tiers. They were completely free except one thing at the beginning. Of course, some of these you may have bought, some you may have not. I haven't bought all of them, like Brute Force. Most of them actually I haven't bought, say for the most part. Like, I'll be honest, I even regret buying this one. I don't run shit from this. So I don't even know why I bought it. So what they're saying here is the free items that are within each pass will be going right over here into the exchange after every season that you can go and purchase with Spartan points. This is great. I'm totally fine with that. It means that instead of you having to buy it, you can just go through and get it yourself by playing the game. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to purchase it. I'm fine with that. But let's go back to here really quick for a second. So let's go right back down here. The Premium Operation Pass. The Premium Operation Pass is receiving an extensive overhaul, including a increased size, bringing greater value for those who decide to upgrade. The expanded pass will be available in the first operation of each update. The second and third operations will offer the traditional 20-tier Operation Pass offering. So let's set this aside for a second. So what we're going to do is go back to Halo Infinite because I am going to talk about this a little bit more in depth. So if you don't know, every about 3 months we get a really big update. So we had, for example, here we had Great Journey, and then Snowbound, and then Brute Force. So Great Journey was a very, very big update. We got the MA5K SMG, we got Delta Arena, and a bunch of other stuff. This was the big one. So now what they're saying, and from what we've seen in the update, this update next time, so for example, Frontlines, is going to be a 50 tier pass that you can purchase and get a bunch of extra stuff out of it. It will be $10 instead of the normal 5, which honestly, that's pretty damn good bang for your buck, I would say. You get 30 extra levels of content. That includes Spartan points, more armor. So from what I know, I think you get 3 armor sets, and just a bunch of other stuff as well. I genuinely think that's a pretty damn good deal, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with it. But then the next two, so for example, after we had Great Journey, we had Snowbound and Brute Force. These will be free 20 tier passes. So it's kind of going back to what I would say is the Season 5 element. You had Season 5, which was a little bit cheaper than 4 and prior, and then we had 2 operations after that. And I'm totally okay with that. Like, honestly, I thought Season 5 was, like, genuinely the most well-done season we've had in Infinite. Like, it was perfect. It gave you content right at the beginning, and then you had, like, 2 months after where you were getting smaller doses of content, but it still added stuff to the game. I'm fine with this. Totally okay with it. That's perfect. I do think they should, like, kind of take this away, like, maybe like a major operation and then just operation. But I still think that is just a great thing overall. I'm totally fine with that. Just give me more stuff to go for. I'm fine with it. So let's go ahead and read this really quick. Trying to find back where he was. The Premium Pass also supports the usual perks. It makes the Operation Pass durable, it will not expire, offers bonus XP during the Operation's live window, and provides an extra challenge slot while your pass is equipped. But where previous Operation Passes have featured one armor set, one particular look for your Spartan, as a reminder, the new incarnation of the Premium Pass will now offer 4 full sets of these armor sets. These will be unlocked as you progress through 50 tiers of awards. The price of the Premium Operation Pass has been slightly adjusted for this offering, providing the following options. So 1,000 credits, which, like I said, is $10. That's pretty damn doable, I would say. And 2,500 credits, all of the above, and instantly unlocks the first 20 levels out of the 50. Kind of typical here, like that's genuinely, I think, a pretty good bang for your buck. I'll probably just buy the 1,000 credit ones because I get through these pretty damn quickly, so I'm just going to end up doing that. That's not too bad. Players must purchase premium passes during the operation is live, as it will not be available for purchase once that month-long window has been closed. If you're missing on any premium operation passes going forward but want the armor offered, you'll be able to find it in the shop during the next seasonal update at an adjusted price. Yet again, not too bad here. I'll be completely honest. I see some people getting mad about this, and I'll be completely forward and honest here. Halo Infinite has had a really kind of cool thing, but I don't think many people have done it. So if y'all don't know, I didn't play Halo Infinite during the first, like, 2 or 3 seasons. I really got involved with Season 4 and going forward. That's when I really got, like, heavily addicted again. And I actually just went through and bought these because I was enjoying the game so much that I bought all these. But, like, I'm going to be completely honest. If you were, weren't playing during these times and you got in at a later time, I'm going to be completely honest. You probably just want these for particular things, and they're giving you the option to do that. And I'm totally okay with that. Like, honestly, if I'm looking at this pass right here, like, there's very, like, certain things that I want out of it and not too much else here. And it's mostly just, like, certain helmets, mostly this chest piece. Like, it's very particular things. Now, the thing that does kind of suck about this, that I'll be completely forward and transparent on, was the thing that the seasons offered, which was, and this is what I did, was I bought Season 1, played all the way through it, and that gave me enough credits to go back through and just buy the rest of them. Kind of sucks, but also I kind of get it. They probably aren't, making anything off of this. It's whatever. It happens. Like, yet again, I'm not really someone who cares. But they're not allowing, like, a FOMO aspect of this. Like, you can still go get everything that you want. And to be completely honest, I can see a lot of this going into the exchange. It'll probably just be like, you click on it, it'll take you to an exchange menu, and then you'll buy it through there. It's probably what it's going to be, if I'm going to be completely honest. I could see them doing that, especially with certain ones from, like, Season 1 and 2. But that's just kind of what I'm seeing here. So, yeah, there's been some changes here to the operation passes. Good, bad, kind of, mixed match. It's a little bit of everything. Overall, I'm excited just for more content, and the stuff that they showed off from Frontlines looks fucking sick. Here's some of the armors that we've seen yesterday, and these look absolutely badass. And now we also have a new mode coming out, which is Assault, which is a classic Halo mode. If you've ever played Halo 1, 2, 3, whatever, Assault is a very fucking good mode. It's actually one of my favorites to play when I'm playing classic Halo. And there's one bomb and neutral bomb. The way that these two different modes work, neutral bomb was a bomb in the center of the map, and you would try to go and plant it to the other side. One bomb was, it was like defense and offense. That's how I can best explain that to you. It's also coming to ranked as well, so I'm very excited to see how this plays. I'm like genuinely so excited for this. Like, this is a phenomenal mode, and I am so happy that it's coming out Infinite. I think a lot of the maps that it'll be on is going to play great, and I want to set this as a reminder. It is in ranked, but it's also just in the social 4v4, but it's also in squad battle 8v8. So that's going to be fucking exciting. I can't wait to play a new mode. And then over here, we have some sandbox updates. These are pretty damn big, and I want to talk about them very in depth because, to be honest, this changes not only just the base gameplay of Halo, this changes the competitive side of Halo too. So if you don't know, last year a lot of weapons got GA'd out of the sandboxing pro play and competitive play, which was the Heatwave, Disruptor, Bulldog, AR, etc. Mostly because they are just very, very easy weapons to use, so I get it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Heatwave. So, of course, right here we can see they decreased the fire rate, which I'm totally okay with. The Heatwave should not be able to fire as fast as it should. It fires a little too damn fast. But the other thing that they changed was when you are firing horizontally, if y'all don't know, the Heatwave had this like kind of crazy thing, especially on controller, and if you were playing at like a super high level in Halo, it was a sniper rifle, like, basically. Like, if you see somebody go to one shot and you had a Heatwave and you know that you could like bounce a shot off at long range, you're firing that horizontal shot and knowing you're going to hit them, and it's going to be a one shot no matter what because it's the fucking Heatwave. And that's one reason why I got GA'd. Just using it in that direct, like, vertical position made it a little bit too easy, and I totally get it. Like, when you're playing at that high of a level, you're not missing shots. Like, it's just how it is. And I think a lot of casual players tend to miss out on that and not understand that from a pro player's perspective of being like, no, this is just simply too easy to where, like, we know that we're going to win this. Like, it's just a little bit weird. I get kind of both arguments, but I understand why it was GA'd. But now when you are firing it in the vertical position, it's going to have a, like, spread. It's going to have a bloom effect on it. So not all of them go the exact same direction. They will spread out more. And I honestly think that this will make the Heatwave not only more consistent, but a little bit more challenging to use. And I think that's overall just a great thing for that. Stalker Rifle also receives a very, very small nerf with the fire rate. Nothing too crazy. It's still going to play with the Stalker. It's just going to fire a little bit slower, and I'm kind of okay with that. Stalker, I do think, fires a little bit too fast to be a like a precision weapon. I think it just fires just a little too fast. The Disruptor also received a bit of a fucking nerf. It's kind of crazy. I know that they recently said that it's going to receive a reduced ammo count. So from what you can see here, reduced starting ammo on ranked maps from 1236 to 1212. Not too bad. I think that makes it a little bit more viable and definitely won't be GA'd. And also just increase some, like, accuracy things, just adjusted to this and everything. Like, it's typical adjustments for this weapon to become a little bit more balanced, and I'm fine with it. Next one, another big one, is the Bulldog. So, here we go. Bulldog got a big nerf as well. It got a nerfed fire rate, and also the headshot multiplier is gone completely. I genuinely think this is great for the Bulldog. I think it'll be a lot more consistent. One thing I can't stand about the Bulldog is sometimes you will fire 2 shots and get a kill. Sometimes you'll fire 3. Sometimes you'll fire 4 due to that weird, like, little multiplier thing. I feel like this will just make the Bulldog feel overall significantly more consistent in gunfights, and I am so here for that. So I'm a fan of this. I like this. Next is the shock rifle. So the shock rifle from the hip now has reduced magnetism, which is great. I think that'll make the shock rifle a lot less easy to use, especially on controller. Like, I'm going to be completely honest, as an M&K player, the shock rifle is definitely one of my most, I think one of the most annoying weapons to go over, because on controller, it is so damn easy to use, it's not even funny. And it's, like, pretty easy to use on M&K. It takes a little bit of, getting used to, but I would say, like, if you were playing M&K and you're playing with a controller player in, like, a ranked scenario, throw that fucking shock rifle to them if they can hit their shots. If they're hitting them, they are going to be much more effective than you are on a fucking keyboard and mouse. It's just completely, like, me being completely honest. So yeah, excited to see that change. I think it'll make the shock rifle a little bit more interesting for everybody in play. And then right here, of course, we have the AR updates. So the AR updates are kind of also a bit different. So initial accuracy is improved. So whenever you are just like first firing the weapon, it'll be a lot more accurate. Lower bound deceleration time. Deceleration time also changed as well. Got nerfed a little bit here. Maximum error angle low kind of stayed the same here, and then high got a bit of a change as well. And then also, this is another big change. The headshot damage multiplier on health is now gone completely, which I think is great for the AR. It's one of the things that makes the AR kind of annoying to play against, and I understand why it was GA'd. This weapon was not like hard to use at all. It didn't have a skill gap to it. You just kind of sprayed it. It was easy, and I think this adds for a little bit more different play with it. And then also reduced the amount of ammo on pickup on ranked. It's from 36 to 108 in reserves to 36, 36. So 2 mags only. I'm fine with that. I think that is great. And then also grenade physics changed. They bounce a lot more, which I'm fine with, but also now have a slower cast time. And actually, it seems to be a lot lower, or actually, it's a little bit higher than before. It went from a 0.79 to a 0.92, which feels more traditional to Halo. I mean, if we look right here at the numbers, this fits more closely to like Halo Combat Evolved 2 and or 3 and Reach. Also kind of 4 as well. So grenades will cast slower, but they're going to bounce a lot more. And I'm actually kind of okay with that. I think that's actually going to make for some interesting things changing. And then here's the big one. Strafe acceleration. Jiggle peeking's gone, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but one thing that I have complained a lot about with Halo Infinite, especially when I'm playing ranked, is I fucking can't stand jiggle peeking. It's one of the most annoying things, and I don't know how the keyboard and mouse players feel about this. I play on keyboard and mouse as well, but I'm totally fine with this. I'm sorry, there's nothing more irritating than I'm in a gunfight winning it and then do just fucking 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, and I'm like, that doesn't make the gunfight interesting. You're now just a nuisance. Like, I don't get how people see that and go, yeah, that gunfight's interesting because of that. Because it's not. It's just kind of boring. It makes every fucking gunfight feel the same in the game, and it's just not enjoyable. Like, on either way, like, I get bored sitting here going 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, instead of thinking about how I'm going to maneuver this map to get out of this gunfight. It no longer made it about that. It was just who can jiggle the fastest in a wall, and it just isn't interesting. Genuinely, I hope this takes that out of the game completely and makes it feel more, I guess, like Halo. That's one thing I didn't fucking like about ranked in this game. It always annoyed me. I hated it, especially since the bandits became the meta. I think it genuinely just like really hurt the game flow and playstyle, everything like that. So I'm very excited to see this. And yeah, of course, there's a lot of new maps as well. And also, there's some things changing as well. So we have some like ranked map updates. Camo is replacing Overshield and Top Middle on Aquarius. An interesting choice, I'm not gonna lie. And then Threat Seeker replaced the plasma grenades on Hydro. Yet again, kind of interesting. Empyrean also got some changes. Assault Rifle and Commando Rifle swap locations. Plasma Pistols moved to Alley. Repulsor moved to Terminal. And Overshield moved to Underpass. Excited to see how this works. I don't necessarily know. Like, we haven't got to play it yet, so I'm excited to see it, though. Forbidden Battle Rifles added to front bases, and Thrust is replacing the Threat Seeker at Big Door. Yet again, pretty interesting. And this one, to me, is like a big one, is the Battle Rifle is added to Turbine on Live Fire. Thank fucking God we finally have a Battle Rifle on the fucking map. Genuinely, it's one thing in Live Fire. I'm like, why the fuck isn't there a Battle Rifle here? It's like 4 fucking commandos, it feels like, most of the time. Recharge. Shock Rifle has been placed on a power weapon pad to align with the properties of Solitude, which is kind of interesting. Don't know exactly how that's going to play with Recharge now, because that's going to change a lot, I think, about the flow of the map. Especially, if, like, depending on where Shock spawns. Because one thing about Recharge is, like, Shock is a very dominant weapon on that map. So changing it, I wonder how it's going to feel. Solitude Commando Rifle replaced Bandit at bottom mid, and Battle Rifle added to blue ramp. Excited to see that as well. And then also, here's a big one for Streets. Bulldog replaced with a sidekick at Commercial District. This is going to be interesting to see. I'm kind of excited for it. I just want to say that. And of course, ranks will be resetting, so there's a lot going on here. Of course, there's also, yet again, new maps coming. So right here, we get Origin, which is a remake from Kali from Halo 5 Guardians. It'll be ranked. It will be in Ranked Slayer, Doubles, Arena. So I'm excited to see this, and it will also appear in regular matchmaking as well. So very, very excited for that. So there is a lot going on here. But we're not done yet. Because I have to talk about this in particular, because it's been a hot fucking topic for some reason. I just have to talk about this in depth, and I need to make a lot clear with this choice that they have made here for Halo Infinite. So yeah, as you can see right here, we are getting a new weapon called the Fuel Rod Spanker. And, yeah, for some reason, people are mad about it, calling it lazy, and they're like, why didn't they just use the H5 model? This is lazy. Even though, like, hypothetically, like, that would be even lazier, because they're just, like, porting it from one game to another. So I don't understand the argument here, but yet again, with the Halo community, anytime that something new happens, even if it's good for the game, we have to move the goalpost to then win our arguments, because that's what we do as people, I guess. Which is, I think, kind of really fucking annoying and really shitty amongst the community of, like, no matter what, like, the new dev team is not allowed to get a win no matter what. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say this, and this is me being completely transparent and, like, honest with my audience here. I genuinely think that no matter how good the next Halo game is, we're going to be in the same fucking cycle, because most of you can't get over the fact that Bungie no longer makes Halo. And I'll be honest, I don't think you all want Bungie making Halo. I'm just going to be completely real about it. I don't think you do. You know why? Do you see the state of Destiny? It's not that fucking great. And you know why? Because Bungie isn't the greatest. Like, Bungie did a lot of great things. Don't get me wrong. I loved Destiny for the most part. Like, I've had fun with that game. I used to stream it pretty fucking exclusively. But Bungie is not consistent at all. I gotta be honest. That's the most inconsistent team of people I think I've ever fucking seen in the gaming world. I have respect for them, and I love what they did for the original Halo trilogy. I'm not counting Reach in that. Reach is dog shit, and I will die on that fucking hill. That game is terrible, and if you think Reach is good, it's nostalgia. The game's not actually good. Yet again, it's nostalgia, which is what drives like 90% of this community. Is you all remember playing this game in middle school, and like you've refused to like grow up out of that middle school phase. It's just kind of honest. I'm just going to be honest here. It's just how it is. Like, let's just be real here. You don't actually like Halo. You like the thought of not being an adult. That's what it is. So, good on you. Anyway, let's talk about this a little bit, because genuinely, I think this is a really fucking cool thing. So, I'm going to talk about this from a lore perspective of things that we could see in Halo lore. So, with the Fuel Rod Spanker, well, it's a fucking Fuel Rod cannon infused with a Spanker rocket launcher, the UNSC rocket launcher, and people are like, oh, this is stupid. It's just a UNSC weapon. I'm just going to be kind of blunt about it, I guess. I'll be a little silly, get a little blunt with it. Do you think throughout the entire Covenant War that the UNSC would not have access to Covenant technology and weaponry, realizing how strong it is, and then possibly finding ways to make a version of those weapons that humans could carry comfortably and actually use effectively in the battlefield? Crazy, because almost like that could add lore elements to the game. Now, of course, there's the other argument that, well, Infinite probably doesn't have a main animator on the team currently because they are gearing up for the next game, so they probably have that just entire team like, hey, you need to focus here. This is our next thing. Stop focusing on this. And 343 is just finding ways to make these weapons work in games with animations that are already existing. But I wanted to look at this from a lore standpoint and be like, holy shit, this would be kind of cool, actually. They could do something interesting here where they have like a story about how Oni was taking these, or the UNSC or Oni was taking these Covenant weapons that had been, found on the battlefield and finding ways to make them work so that the UNSC could use them, and so that Marines and Spartans could use them not only effectively but comfortably, because, I mean, a lot of Covenant weapon designs aren't really designed for a normal fucking person to hold them. They're kind of big, bulky, and huge as hell because the Covenant are quite big. And I just think this could add to such a cool thing. Like, I would love to see a story where, like, a Spartan whips out this fucking Fuel Rod Spanker and takes out a fucking platoon of, Covenant or Banished with them. And, like, generally, that's all I can think of is, like, there's no way that they, have access to the weapons now because of, one, the alliance with the Sangheili, two, like, scrounging battlefields, and would not take these weapons back and try to learn about them and what makes them so powerful. I mean, if you have ever read the fucking books, you see how powerful these Covenant weapons are. Like, they aren't just little rinky-dink weapons. They are powerful. They do insane damage. It's something that, like, constantly, if you're reading these books, you see it Marines, like, talking about it. You see Spartans talk about it, of, like, damn, I hope I don't get hit by that, because that's really gonna fucking hurt. And, I mean, we see it in Halo lore anyway. Like, the shields that the Spartans use are basically just, jackal shields. Like, that's kind of what it is. They're just made for a Spartan. They learned about this. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't care what anybody says. Like, this is genuinely an exciting thing to see in the game, because it not only... It's a pretty cool design. I mean, it looks like a spanker had sex with a fuel rod cannon and made a cute little baby. But also, there's a lot of cool lore implications here that I could just be really excited for. So yeah, that's really about it. Other than that, though, that's where I'm going to end this video today. I know it's been pretty long and there's no gameplay, but I had to talk about all of this. Also, if y'all didn't see yesterday, Space Station released their roster, or not yesterday, the day before. I was supposed to have a video on it, but yeah, go watch that too. They fucking cooked. So, HCS 2025, it's gonna be crazy. Also, this got announced too. I might see y'all at some events this year. Later, guys.